Hey everyone, it's Susan Traxel with Traxel Consulting, and I'm continuing on with our exponential collaboration workshops. And today I thought I would go ahead and show you some of the tools that I use in person. And then the next time we will talk about more how to do a workshop or a meeting in person. So, the very first thing that you want to have if you are in an in person setting is post it notes. So this is a cute little one I found somewhere that's a school bus. You can order these obviously online at any office store or go into Walmart or whatever your local supply store is. And it's very important to have at least these square ones. And I would encourage you to get them in multiple colors, not just yellow. I tend to use the yellow for labeling categories and use these different colors for the various activities that I'm doing. You'll see behind me, it's kind of blurry. I haven't quite figured out how to make that not be blurry, but on behind me, I have a flip chart. So it's just Post-it brand flip chart paper that's sticky, so I can take it off, move it to a wall, and then it's actually hanging on a reversible whiteboard. Those are also important to have so that you can write some notes. You can also use those papers to do your activities. So, number one, Post-its. If you have square, that's great. If you can get the longer rectangular ones in yellow, that would be ideal. I thought I had purchased those earlier this year and I didn't, so I still need to get some more of those. Number two is you'll want to have chart paper that you see behind me. It's not necessarily that you're going to write a lot on the flip chart paper, but you can also use it, as I mentioned, to put post-it notes on. And then I went ahead and got, instead of just a flip chart stand, I got a dual purpose flip chart and whiteboard. It also can flip over, so there's two sides to the whiteboard. The bottom has a tray holder, and then at the top here is a little hooks that you can put your flip chart notes on and then cover it so it stays in place. Those are three things actually, that I've mentioned that you need. If you don't have a whiteboard and you're using a space that has one, that's great. You can even, live without a whiteboard, but you definitely do need to have some flip chart paper and Post-its. Third thing you need are black Sharpies. Does that make it less blurry? These are actually Sharpie brand, but I know that there are other brands out there that work just as well. I have quite a few. I am getting more because you want every person in your workshop to have a Sharpie. The reason for this is it looks a lot better if you are able to write with Sharpie versus pen. So I'll show you an example. Okay, so this is basic little pen I got from a conference. And if I hold that up, it's pretty hard to see what I've written even with it at the camera. Imagine trying to see this across the room or even 5, 10 feet away. However, if I write it with a Sharpie, it's a lot easier to see. I can even see it without my glasses on, that the Sharpie shows up better. Another reason why you want to use a Sharpie for everybody is because it removes that detail. So you don't necessarily know who wrote it unless you know everyone's handwriting. This helps people who maybe don't want all of their ideas to be public, but they do want to participate. It just adds for a little bit of anonymity. Yes, that's how you say it during the workshop. So we've got Post-its, we've got black Sharpies, we've got behind us a flip chart and a whiteboard. And then if you're going to have a whiteboard, you definitely need to have whiteboard supplies. This is a nice little kit that Expo makes. It comes with 4 colors of markers, a eraser, and then cleaner. Really important because eventually you're going to need to have a whiteboard cleaner. I've also got smaller ones that can write in finer print. just because I like to have multiple styles. And I was a teacher once upon a time, so I needed lots of different colors to do my equations. And it just helps me identify, for those who can see color, different topics a little bit easier. Okay, another piece that you're going to want to have is a timer clock. So this is the type that I use. It's kind of a generic brand, but I will put the link in the video. I got this one off of Amazon, but I'm sure you can go into a local store and see if they can either find one for you or they may already have it in stock. This one, it's called a visual timer. So you can just search for that. And I really like this style. This is big. You can see it from far away. Uh, you can make it go for up to an hour. This is excellent for one of the principles of workshopping, which is to have timed discussions. The other thing I like about this one is there's two ways to mount it. Number one, it does have a stand, so you can set it onto a table. And number two, on the back, it has really strong magnets. I put this up on whiteboards if I'm in an area with one. I think it also works on the one I have behind me. So that's pretty helpful if you don't want to take up table space, and you can set it high up on a whiteboard so everyone can see it. Another nice thing about this particular type is that it's got different modes for telling you that it's done. So this one is set for a light mode. You can see it on this side. It's blinking. It's also got uh, sound mode. So let me see if this is the, need to reset it for a second. I think that's silent, actually. Oh no, there we go. Loud. And then I'm not sure if you can hear it, but it also has a buzz. So if you want to use this for your personal work, especially if you've got ADD or ADHD, this does help you with timing some of your work so you can stay focused for 15, 20 minutes, and then we'll notify you. If the red lights bother you, it can be turned to vibrate, or it can go to sound, or you can put it on the sound one and just turn the sound all the way off and just wait and look at it when it's done. Okay, so the next thing I like to have in any workshop that I run is fidget toys. They can be kind of expensive, so I've just been slowly collecting them over the years. These are some little cube ones that you can just make shapes into. This one has little rectangular objects. Other items that I have are those pipe cleaners. I'm sure there's another name for them now. People design things with them. You can even use those pipe cleaners for an activity, squishy balls, anything that can help the hands move really helps those who are tactile learners or who need to have something going on while they are learning. If you have people that come into a workshop and they're bringing crochet, I'm fine with that because that helps them think doing that crochet or that knitting. It actually does help them stay engaged. All right. Next thing that I have are dots. These are dots that come from Avery. I like this one. I've seen them in red and blue. The reason I like these the best is because you can pull them out in a string. Looks like I didn't open this one yet. You can pull them out in a string and give everyone however many you think that you need for that particular time. So you can pre-cut them into 3, 5 dots, or you can do that on the fly if you throw in an activity that you hadn't been planning on. So definitely to have these dots for dot voting, which is another one of the 4 key activities that you can use in any workshop. Okay, next thing I like to use are name tags. An easy way to do this, if you don't want to spend the money to create lanyards like you might see at a conference, or sometimes there are thicker ones. I'm not seeing mine. I got one at an AJ and Smart event that was thick, and you can put your name on both sides so that if it does flip over, people still know who you are. If you don't have that, then We Connect or We and Me, they create some really nice name badges. So each of the name badges has a question on it. So this one says, I am trying to solve the challenge of. And then I hand these out before I get started, but not before people come in the room. The reason I do that is because people have a tendency to want to write their name in this white section here. And this white section is actually where you put the answer to the question, and your name goes on here. Important to use a Sharpie so it's visible. That's why when I start my workshops, I have Post-it notes and Sharpies at every person's spot on the table. Still very important to have some sort of a name tag. The reason I like these is because it will start that connection piece right away. So as soon as people fill out their answers to the questions, their table mates will naturally ask them about that, or you may want to ask someone about what their answer is on the card. Really easy way to build connection early on. Another really great connection card from they're called We Connect cards from We and Me. The website, by the way, is weand.me. These are questions that you can ask each table to talk about. So, for example, this one here says, what is something that amazes you? There's a variety of questions in here. Each color is a different type of category. So there's green, there's blue, and there's a purple. Actually don't recall what the categories are. Oh, here we go. It gives you instructions when you buy this box. So the purple, these are questions that are self-reflection. Green is fun and light, and blue is a bit deeper. So I tend to use the green and the purple the most when I'm in meetings where people don't know each other, especially. Although sometimes it's easier to ask those deeper questions with people you don't know than with people you've worked with a long time. So, really cool little box of cards. And then on the back of them, what's kind of neat is you can have everyone stand up and turn the card over, and that's your stretch break. So it tells you what type of stretch to do. Great way to re-energize the group if things are getting a little bit too quiet. Okay, next thing I want to show you are flip chart pens. I have always used just the basic flip chart pens you find anywhere. I think they have a brand. I'm blanking on the brand right now. And those are fine. Don't get me wrong. They are great. But a friend of mine turned me on to these pens that are actually made in Germany. So they are a bit spendy. If you can afford it, it's great. If you can't, just use regular pens. It's not that big of a deal. But if you're going to do this a lot, it might be worth it to invest in some better pens. These are called Neuland pens, Neuland. And there's a store in Texas that I ordered it from. It's very hard to find online. So again, I'll put that link in the video narration. Is it narration? Anyway, down below this video, I'll have the link as long as YouTube has allowed me to put links in by now. If they're not down below, you'll see them in the very first comment. So what's nice about these pens is you can buy them in a little kit that will give you different types of pens that help you with your flip charts. So in this one of these kits, I bought two. One of the kits has one called a big one, and it's yellow. So that's a good one to use for titles. And then you can draw a black around those to make that title really pop. And then they've got a big one that's in black. I've also got one here. Let's see here. I've got a great big orangey red one. I think it's red, actually. It might be orange. I'm going to call it red. Then I got excuse me, I've got a little smaller one that's orange. And to show you what they look like, they're filled with the ink. This particular one is a bullet point tip, and they write really nicely. Um, I don't know how else to explain it. They just write very nicely. This big red one has an even larger bullet point tip or chisel. I don't know what they call these. I know in some spaces they're trying to remove phrases like bullet, trigger, things that are related to firearms. I'm 50, so I still tend to say those because that's all I've ever known them as. So I apologize if that's a concern to people. This is a great big chisel tip one that's yellow. And then what else we got? I've got a white one here. So this works great. If you have black paper, this will actually show up white. Really good contrast. A great big black one, another great big black one because I got two kits. A smaller black one. Let me see if it has a different type of tip. Nope. This is like your regular Sharpie style. And then this one's kind of cool. This is their acrylic one. And you can put any color you want in here. And it's got a great big sponge here. So you could put any color. It's got a ball in there for you to shake it up and keep everything fluid. And if you're doing posters, like let's say you're a teacher and you're with a leadership team or something, you had a couple of these, maybe not this brand, but if you had a couple of these, you could use acrylic paints to help your students make even better posters for all of their dances and activities that they do. And then the other piece that I thought was really nice with Neuland is that I got cut off there with the Loom video. There might be a limit to how long we can make Loom videos if you don't pay a lot of money. All right, so one of the things I was mentioning with Neuland is they also provide you with some guides. You can buy a practice pad to practice your writing. If you're like me, sometimes, even though I was a teacher, sometimes my writing still goes to an angle. Sometimes it's not pretty because I get in a hurry. But it has, like back when we were kids in grade school, a hand lettering pad. It's got thicker paper. And in addition to just different types of paper for you to practice on, it provides you with instructions on ways that you can write it nicely. And it also has a little guidebook here that I really like that I showed you earlier. It shows you the different types of markers. This is in German right here, but it does have below it English translations. So this one explains to you what each marker's purpose is. And it'll even go into how to write letters that are attractive or easy to see. So it gets into things like kerning, which is, I believe, how far apart the letters are, their height, their X length, all that kind of stuff. X height, I'm sorry. And then it shows you different ways to write the letters. And then, of course, it gives you that whole practice pad. So that's what I'm doing is figuring out how to write things a little bit easier to see and nicer on flip charts. It just makes people feel better if they can read the flip chart. I don't know if you've ever been to a workshop session where the facilitator or someone else is writing and you have no idea what it is they just wrote down. So then you can't capture that later on. So handwriting is really important. It may seem like a small piece, but it is very important to make sure you get the data collected from your participants really well. And then I think that was just about the last one. The final piece I have today to show you is just a little um, iPhone holder. I like this one because if you don't have a table and you just, let's say you have the arm or the back of a chair, even, you can affix it to something that's just a bar. And I'm showing you this because you will want to record sometimes some of these sessions. You may want to record them for the client. You may want to record them for yourself, see how you did and learn from what you did. Or if you're in business for this, you can record for some of your marketing. So sometimes we don't have lots of technology, and all we've got is these amazing little computers in our hands that have really good photo and video quality. So just spend maybe, I don't know, I think this was like maybe $15. You can get them for less even, and use that to make sure your video is level and get yourself a nice little recording what you did. All right, so if there's anything else you have questions about regarding tools, I was going to mention a couple of books that I just noticed here. Um, anyway, if you do have questions, put them in the comments and I can try and answer them or point you in the right direction to get your questions answered. One of the books that I like the most right now is this one called Lightning Decision Jam. This is by AJ and Smart. It's the company that I am certified through as a guide. And it goes through a very simple workshop method that can solve virtually any problem. And if you just memorize this one thing, you can really show people that you know what you're talking about when you're facilitating and get things done and not go in circles and not schedule another meeting. That's a waste of time. I think my next few sessions, I will go over how to use this particular book in workshops or in your team decision meetings. Some other books that I like. These next two are also by AJ and Smart. This one is just about meetings in general. It goes into, why they are a burden, which I think we all know intuitively that they are a burden most of the time, but this explains to you actually why it's happening and what you can do and what the principles are on how you can solve that problem. The next one is called Strategy Signal. This is a fun little book. Um, it's really great if you are building a business or building a product. This will help you get in that direction faster. Or you could even use it for any kind of a strategy building process. One that most people who have been a facilitator um, has seen is this Facilitator's Guide to Participatory Decision Making. This is by Sam Kainer with Lenny Lind, Catherine Toldy, Sarah Fisk, and Dwayne Berger. This is where that diamond of participatory decision making comes from. I teach this in my Facilitation 101 class, that diamond, and how we can put different tools on top of that concept to make it even better. But this also has a lot of activities in there and how to gather diverse points of view. A really good foundational book for facilitation. And the last one, actually, no, I have one more. The last two books that I want to bring up. This workbook here is by AJ and Smart. You can only get this if you go through the workshop or master program and then go to Full Stack Facilitator. However, because I am a guide with them, I am licensed and certified to teach the pieces of this program. And I can set pricing to where I can also get you the full workshop or master uh, program itself. And I think later this year, I'm going to put out for probably a 3 or 4 day training week on how to do this whole system. It's not going to be verbatim from this, but I'm going to use a lot of things from here for people to become better at running their meetings. Maybe you are a vice president, maybe you are a director, and you've got so many projects going on that it's hard to really keep track of where you're at, and you want to be able to assign tasks to people a little bit more efficiently. This would be a really good thing for you to do so you can get to the foundation of what's going on, build upon everyone's ideas so they all feel heard, and then people take ownership of what it is. I, I, I cannot emphasize enough how transformative this method of facilitation has been for me. And then the final book that I've read recently that I really love is this book called Click. It's by Jake Knapp with John Zaratsky. I apologize, John, if I'm missaying your name. They wrote the original design sprint, which people in tech and in corporate businesses probably have heard of. It's a way to iteratively design products that you end up selling to people. But what's nice about this one is that it brings forward their new foundation sprint. So it doesn't have to be just for tech. I'm going to be running this for my own business to make sure that my foundation is strong as I move forward. You can do this with 2 people, you can do this with more people, and it lays it out exactly how you can do this. At my last couple of workshops, I had this as a giveaway. And if you can get your hands on it and you're wanting to build a business, you're wanting to go into facilitation, or you want to start from the beginning at an organization and build it up as efficiently and as clear as possible, I highly recommend getting this book Click. Okay, now that's everything that I was going to show you today on in-person workshops. Very high level overview, but if you want to hear more about that or you have any questions, drop them in the comments below and subscribe to my channel.